Sharp was the line with a wicked grin. Now shuffles the cards where the tales begin. Lauren lights a candle, the shadows play. Whispers of ghosts keep the night at bay. Rosé readings under the moonlight. Tarot and laughter in the witching night. Spooky but sassy, the vibe's just right. Char, and Lauren make the dark so bright.
Hey Shadow people, welcome back. Paranormal Playback's monthly bonus banter for a very special Rosé Readings. I'm Charlie.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Mel. As a reminder, Rosé Readings is our monthly special where the spirits are poured and the stories get personal. From listener-submitted stories we call Tales from the Shadows, to tarot pulls, ghostly guests, Lauren scrying for good and evil.
In the last episode, we did try to contact the dead.
We did. And yes, some very poorly done ghost investigating.
With some equipment we got on Amazon.
Yes, so we put the recaps aside and bring you into our drunken/sober circle of weirdness.
Yes, and as a reminder, we are in the Blue Ridge Mountains for this episode. So we've been exploring some cemeteries close by.
We were talking through some local legends, as well as a particularly local location that we visited yesterday, this haunted church. So you'll have to tune back into part 1 to hear the tale of the Tilly Bend Witch. And we'll kind of talk about a little bit more of those legends going into this. But coming up, we'll also have Tales from the Shadows, some listener-submitted stories, followed by...
I'm going to tell you guys about my visit to the Winchester Mystery House, which was actually eventful, and I did have a little, what I think may have been a ghostly occurrence, so I will share that.
And possibly turned your skeptic husband into a possible believer.
The fact that my husband acknowledged what happened made me believe even more in what it was, so
We'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see. And then Laura's going to give us some tea.
Yes.
And we'll wrap it up with our review of this lovely chicken wine and a lovely cheers to the next month, the greatest month of all months.
Spooky month.
Spooktober. Spooktober.
October.
That just reminds me of, I think Shock Top does Shocktober. That beer.
Oh.
Yeah. We are not brought to Shock.
Whatever you call it, it is the spookiest season of the year, and we're very excited for it.
Spookiest and happiest
Yes.
for a lot of us.
So some more kind of smaller local legends near kind of Liban Church in the Blue Ridge Mountains in Georgia. There's it's called Terror in Toccoa. There are old newspaper articles.
Wait, you said terror in
Toccoa.
Okay.
Toccoa is Georgia, the Toccoa
I think she
River.
was saying terror. Were you trying to figure out what she said?
Yeah, your words just kind of, your southern, it all kind of blended together, and I was just trying
Terror
to
in
figure out
Toccoa.
what terror, right?
Terror.
Yes, so in Toccoa, Georgia, Terror in Toccoa. There's an old newspaper article describing a calaboose, a small jail, just outside of Toccoa in the late 1800s. A man named Roland Taylor was locked in, and later the building caught fire. He perished while calling for help as the building burned. So now graffiti, local memory, and ghost stories tend to grow around calaboose. That's such a weird...
I've never heard that term. The first time you said it, I was like, what?
What is it? What?
Calaboose?
Calaboose for small jail.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, people claim to hear flames and see a figure trapped in a burning building if you go to that area. Here it is. Yeah, calaboose. This is the tiny, like a little teensy. We'll put a picture in here. The town is post-Civil War. They construct a little calaboose jail in small towns. They were generally a one-room shack with bars to hold a prisoner or two. Judging from this newspaper's vague description, the calaboose is one of these types of buildings. So here's kind of an old newspaper clipping. 1888, dead man's ghost returns to haunt the prisoners who succeed him. The town council have erected a new calaboose exactly on the same spot where the old one was burned. Christmas Eve when Roland Taylor was cremated. Also, Koa Falls itself has some legends. Stories of a Cherokee woman's spirit underneath the waterfall is part of some Native American lore. The Kelly Barnes Dam failure of 1977 is also a tragic story where a reservoir dam failed after some heavy rains, causing a flash flood that killed 39 people.
Oh, wow.
Raven Bald is the second highest peak in the Georgia Blue Ridge Mountains. So it's called Raven Bald. And there are stories that demon people or strange sounds, possibly fire-breathing demon people, can be be heard at night there.
I knew somebody with the last name Rabin who was from Georgia.
Yeah.
Is that like a common, like,
Well, there's a
Georgia
Rabin
family
County.
name?
There's a Rabin. Yeah, I think it is like a.
And a Lake Rabin.
I wonder if it's because of the peak, or I'm sure there's like a Rabin family.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But also the highest peak, you start the Appalachian Trail climb in Georgia because it's the base of the mountain range. And
Got
that
it.
first hike is called Blood Mountain. So I bet it's up Rabin Bald. Not
If your
his
last
bald.
name is Rabin, let us know if you have a Georgia family.
Yeah, if you're connected.
And then finally, in downtown Blue Ridge, where we just ate lunch, it actually has some walking ghost tour,
We should have done
including
that.
tales of haunted mansions, old courthouses, local legends, and tragedies. One specific one is the Colonel Michael McKinney House. It was a boarding house or a hotel at times, and with older homes and changing uses, apparently it has a lot of ghost stories surrounding it. So that brings us into our listener submitted stories, our Tales from the Shadows. So we have 2 for you guys for this episode. And the first one is actually from a friend of ours, Madeline.
Yay!
Yes. As you guys know, the 3 of us met as coworkers at an ad agency. And Madeline was a writer at that agency. So thank you, Madeline, for sending a story. I'm sure it's written very well. I am so sorry if I butcher it with my reading of it. I'll do my best.
Thanks, Madeline, for sending that.
Yes,
thank
thank
you.
you. So Madeline in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Madeline writes, when I was a kid in Baton Rouge, I had so many paranormal experiences. From about age 4 until maybe 5 or 6, there was a woman who would sit at the end of my bed, which is so creepy.
That is so creepy.
There's so many people's stories about this. It's so common. I don't know why.
God.
She said, at first it terrified me, but then it became normal.
Oh.
Oh, Madeline, I have a lot of questions for you about like what she looked like, how old she was. Okay, she's talking a little bit about what she looks like.
Yeah. Let's let Madeline
I'm
tell
sorry,
her
I'll shut
story.
up. I'm sorry.
I have such a vivid memory of the first time I saw her. She sat calmly, her back toward me, in a white nightgown with her hair pinned up. She was always in shadow. She never turned her head when I cried for her, and I thought she was my mom.
Oh, no.
For a little kid, that's terrifying. Can you imagine like
know.
calling for your mom
And thinking
just
she's
seeing
ignoring
it?
you?
Yeah.
She says, my mom even remembers me asking about it. Eventually, though, I'd wake up, see her sitting there, and just go back to sleep. It became so commonplace that I stopped telling anyone.
God.
Another memory my whole family remembers. I once saw a tall green man dripping in Spanish moss, walking between the trees in my aunt's front yard.
Was it old Greg?
I also thought old Greg.
That's Skelly, man.
Do you want to explain?
Do you love me? Do you play a love game?
Old Greg is
It's early
British.
internet. It's Noel, what's his face? He's now a host of British Bake.
Oh.
Oh,
It's that guy.
yeah, no.
But anyways, he was
Noel something.
he
is
was
old
covered
Greg.
in seaweed.
It's like this early days of like college humor, pre-YouTube. Like you had to go on like College Humor, E-Bombs World or something,
right.
to watch videos like this. Like Salad Fingers
Yeah.
and Charlie, Candy Mountain Charlie are younger than us, and you have no idea what we're talking about. Go Google all those videos. Culture yourself of it.
Yeah.
But
Get familiar with the stupidity.
old Greg, there's like this long clip, and he goes into this sea cave, and he's just absurd, but very quotable.
Do you love me?
Yeah, he says like, I got him giant. He drinks out of like a shoe. He loves Bailey's. Like there are just all these quotes. It's kind of something that you can't really.
Describe.
I don't want to gatekeep and be like, yeah, to be there, but like,
Yeah.
you
He
kind of
kinda
had to be
did.
there. So it does sound very old Greg.
Well, back to Madeline.
Spanish Moss Man.
Spanish Moss Man. Okay, so she had seen this in her aunt's front yard. He was otherworldly, with freakishly long arms, legs, and hands. He moved at a sloth's pace, and then turned his head to peer back at me.
Oh, gosh.
I called for my family to come see him, begged them to look, but no one else could see what I saw. For years afterward, my experiences stopped. Nothing. Until I was about 25. One night, after a late bartending shift, I got into bed. Suddenly, I heard it. The unmistakable sound of tiny feet pattering across the floor. Oh, God. I called for my roommate. Silence. I laid back down, and that's when I felt the mattress shift. The weight of something small climbing into bed beside me, and then the smell, that totally specific smell of a small child, a toddler, warm hair pressed under my chin, little head nuzzled against me.
Oh.
I think this would still terrify me though, even though
Yeah.
this is pre-children too. Like there's less of a let me comfort you.
Well, I mean, she says, I leapt out of bed, screaming for my roommate. I ripped the sheets off, but of course there was nothing there. And I still wonder.
I'm not brave enough to do that. Rip the sheets off.
Oh, if I thought there was something in the bed with me, I'm ripping the sheets off.
Not me. I'm just leaving. I'm like, you can have it. It's yours now.
Yeah. This is your home.
This is yours to play. Because I think of my ultimate fear when she said, like, she felt something shift in the bed. My mind immediately went to, oh my God, what if it was like a snake in the bed? Like a really big snake. And then if there was a snake like starting to slow down on me, I would hop out. And it's not like I would fucking...
Oh,
I'd be like, the bed is yours now, snake. Goodbye. I'm gonna... The whole house. You want the house? It's yours.
Yeah. Burn it to the ground.
Yeah. It's very brave of you.
So she says, and I still wonder, was it a ghost? Or did I somehow feel a glimpse of my own future, my own fate? Because now I'm a mom of 2. Love the show. Love y'all. M.
Oh, that's gonna make me cry.
Madeline.
I know.
We need to have you on and like have you tell us more because I'm sure
Growing up in Baton Rouge,
yeah,
Louisiana has like a whole different layer of spiritualism,
and I want to know. You didn't say this in your story, but like, are you a believer or do you still sit on the skeptic side? I don't know if we had ever talked about that, and if we did, it's been so long. I don't remember.
Did she say she was on the skeptic side?
No, she didn't say either way. She's telling her stories, but I'm like, I could imagine.
I would,
especially since a lot of them happened when she was a child.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what she thinks those things were. Like, she even said she wasn't sure if it was a ghost or if it was like peering into the future or something.
Yeah, I mean, all of that to me is paranormal, though.
Yeah. Oh, but I just noticed before Lauren gets into her next story, the story is from Stony Brook, which is my neck of the woods.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Stony Brook's on Long Island.
Oh.
I'm excited about that.
All right, so the next story we have is from my friend John Ryan.
Thanks for sending in the story,
Thank you, John. All right, so it says crazy lab story from a listener at Stony Brook. Okay, so my memory's a little hazy on this, but here's how I remember it. Back in undergrad at Stony Brook, about 15 years ago, I worked in an EEG lab studying anxiety and depression. I was just a volunteer research assistant.
Like a heart EEG?
I think that's EKG.
Yeah, that's EKG. I know. I
think EEG is your brain.
Like emotional something.
Oh, yeah. EKG is your heart, and an echo is also your heart.
All right. An EEG is a medical test that measures the electrical activity of the brain using electrodes placed on the scalp.
Okay.
All right. So he said, I worked in an EEG lab studying anxiety and depression. I was just a volunteer research assistant. Pretty normal gig. One day, this guy shows up. His name was Thomas. He had just moved from Chicago. Wasn't in school yet, but said he was planning to apply. He told us he worked at some big labs in Chicago, like Northwestern. So unusual, but not impossible. At first, he seemed pretty normal. Quiet, nothing special. But the weird part, he didn't seem to know much about EEG at all, which was odd if he worked in those high-level labs. Still, they let him run participants, doing basic tasks. Then one day, a grad student hops on a task computer Thomas had been using and notices the search history. The guy had been looking up how much EEG equipment costs, where to buy and sell it. Suspicious, right? So my boss reaches out to a couple of labs in Chicago, and one replies saying, oh yeah, we know him. He actually stole from their lab. They told us to look up someone named Lady Vera Parker. So we Google it. Turns out Thomas was also a drag performer in Chicago, Lady Vera Parker. But apparently he was known in the community as a scammer, someone who ripped people off, took money and used it to fund drag shows and outfits. At that point, my boss sets up a sting operation, invites Thomas back into the lab, and campus police were waiting. They escorted him off the campus. He didn't get arrested, but he was banned from Stony Brook for good. End of story, right? Not quite. A few years later, I run into an old lab mate at a conference. They're like, remember Thomas? He's famous now. And I'm like, what? They pull up a video. It's him on Dr. Phil.
He sent us the clips, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are 2 videos.
Reinvented himself as a psychic medium named Thomas John, doing readings for celebrities. Had a show on Lifetime called The Seatbelt Medium. He even had a...
Seatbelt Medium?
That's what it says.
Does he do readings in cars?
I don't know.
Maybe.
So he even had a residency at Caesar's Palace for a while. Here's the kicker. If you look him up today, he's still doing it. Cruises, shows, private readings, the whole deal. There's even a podcast episode about him as a scam psychic. So yeah, from stealing EEG equipment to psychic cruises, the man's arc is wild. Do I believe he's a medium? No. Do I think he's full of shit? Absolutely. But would I watch a movie about him? 100%.
Yeah.
I haven't watched. I've been wanting to watch the Cleo documentary.
I want to too.
I saw
Is it good?
Yeah, it's worth it. I was waiting. I was like, what is the paranormal connection
Yeah.
here? And I'm like, that's so funny.
That's so insane. The seatbelt psychic. I want to know why. It must be either he does the readings in cars or it's like centered around car. I don't know.
Because if he's doing psychic readings for people,
He doesn't know. It could be anything, what he pulls in.
Google the seatbelt medium.
I wonder
read the
which
description of the show.
podcast cover him, because I was going to say scamfluencers would be like, I could see them covering him.
Yeah, they're in a car. That is so crazy. And how do you become famous? I feel like people who are like scam artists or con artists are just so, they're swindlers. They're just like so good at just pulling the veil over people's eyes.
I honestly don't want to believe, I know that those people exist. I don't want to believe that it's all that, but I also would love to learn, like, what are they doing?
Oh my God, it's
Like,
Frank
they get
Abagnale.
so good at it.
Like a Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Well, I think, the con artist or being a psychic medium.
No, being a con artist, being able to convince somebody that you
Well, they're all
reading.
narcissists and like sociopaths.
There's
You know,
an
it's
art
eith-
to it.
Yeah, well, it's if you had just applied yourself in a different way, you'd probably be like an expert salesman making hella money. But it's also funny to think that like the people who like make a ton of money in sales are really just con artists. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, not completely, you know, like
Yeah,
forgive
but
me.
they're all like convincing people to buy something that they don't need, probably.
I mean, hey, in advertising, we are also con artists.
We are.
It's part of what we do.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's time for me to talk about the Winchester mansion. So I recently had to go to work in Mountain View, California. And so I was like, ooh, I'm going to San Jose. I'm not going to be far from the Winchester Mystery House. I don't know, being pregnant, when the next time I'm going to get over here is going to be. So I figured I should take advantage of that. So we ended up booking a tour. Had no idea. I just booked for the day that seemed the most convenient for us to go. And while I'm there, Mel texts me and happens to tell me that the day I'm going on this tour is Sarah Winchester's death day. It was September 5th.
Yeah, we follow the Winchester House because shout out to whoever's doing the social media at the Winchester House. You're fucking killing it.
Yes, you're crushing it.
It's so good. You're so funny. So we follow them on social and I was looking and they were prepping the house for the death day and going through Victorian mourning traditions and stuff, how they would drape black, cover the mirrors, everything like that. And I was like, oh my God, wait, Charlie, when are you going to the Winchester House? And she was like, we're about to leave. I was like, it's Sarah's death day.
Yeah.
Well, did they not tell you when you went there?
They did tell me the day I was there.
Okay.
But
Take it.
yeah, Mel texted me.
Before you got there?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you probably texted me in the afternoon, but it was like morning there when you texted me. And I was like, oh, we're getting ready to leave. So I didn't know when I was going there. We go. It looks like it looks in the pictures on the outside and everything. And I was like, okay, this is cool. We go inside. They have a really cool gift shop. And I actually got each of you something I'm going to give you right now. I got each of you a keychain that I thought you'd each like. So for Mel, I got a little Victorian looking PlancheTina.
I want to see. Oh.
And Lauren, I got you a little Ouija.
It's so
Oh my God, I love it. And it's perfect for our personality.
I was like, I have to get you guys something. I got myself like a coffee mug because who doesn't need it more?
I was probably bought that whole gift store.
It was really hard to not buy too many things. I restrained myself.
Thanks, Char.
You're welcome. I hope you like it.
Oh my God, I love it.
I'm gonna go put it on my key when we drive home. Put it next to little Tina.
I love it. So they had a really cute gift shop, and then they had some like history stuff and like pop culture stuff in a section. And I walked through, and they had like Expedition Unknown like
Oh,
art,
yeah,
and I
uh-huh.
posted some of that to the story. They also had a little spot that talked about ghost adventures when they were there.
Wait, what's Expedition Unknown?
It's on the Travel Channel.
It's like another show.
Yeah,
That hot guy? What a hot guy.
I don't know what he looks like, but
All I see is a cowboy hat.
he looks like Indiana Jones, sort of. But they also had Ghost Adventures as one of the shows there. Which, I was like, hey, look at this. I got very excited.
Yes, and if you guys have not caught our Ghost Adventures season 29
No.
episode recaps from the most recent season of Ghost Adventures, which, rumor has it, there might be
They're returning
more
shortly.
for spooky season.
Which, you know what, makes sense because the show did end abruptly
Yeah.
for season 29. So maybe they, because of what happened with Aaron, they just need to regroup themselves before they continued the rest of the episodes. So we'll see.
Yeah, and one of the episodes was in the Winchester house. They've done two.
Yeah.
We've covered one, the most recent one, but it was less Winchester house and more
It was really about Houdini, but they did the seance in the Winchester house.
Oh, and from that episode, there is a warlock
Christian Day. Yes.
Who Charlie likes to say, she keeps wanting to call people Christian Grey.
Or Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray. And Christian Grey is from 50 Shades of Grey, and Dorian Gray is from like a
Right. But if your name is Christian Day, that
fair.
can make a very confusing.
But she keeps being like, oh, Christian Grey was in it. And I'm like, what? I'm like, the actor?
Okay, so pivot for 1 second from the Winchester Mystery House. I happened to recently watch the Charlie Sheen documentary that's on Netflix, which I recommend. I think it was interesting. I think I know that he's been a polarizing figure, but I appreciated his honesty as an addict, and he didn't try to sugarcoat things, or like, he just seemed like he was being very honest about his life. So I liked that. Shockingly, Christian Day appeared in this Charlie Sheen documentary, and I was like, what are you doing here? It was so strange.
What was his role in the documentary?
It had to do with around the time of Charlie Sheen's like winning stuff and like Tiger Blood.
God, I forgot about Winning.
Yes.
How did I forget about Winning?
Yes.
Winning.
Yeah.
Hashtag Winning.
That period of crazy time, not only in his life, but in America's life.
Mm-hmm.
Where he was on tour just rambling about nothing, that somehow I forget exactly how, but he got associated with warlocks. Like,
as one does.
Because he was talking about like tiger's blood and all these things, and then they made some sort of association.
Tiger's blood, not tiger blood, like Whole30 tiger blood.
I don't know what that is.
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, when you do Whole30, which is like the 30-day, like basically like no carb thing, they say it takes like 2 weeks to detox from bean and all like sugar, all of these things, and they call it tiger blood. Then you get into tiger blood, where you feel energized.
No,
they call it tiger blood.
No, this was different.
It's talking about tigers.
Yeah,
blood.
this was more like drinking tigers. I you know what? I'm not gonna try to pretend that I know exactly what it was, but it was insane, and it had something to do with tiger's blood. And they somehow linked him to warlocks. And then Christian Day, who was on the Houdini episode of Ghost Adventures trying to summon Houdini, was there representing your screen. Representing all of the warlocks in society. Like, he was like the representative for the Warlocks Association or whatever.
He's a head warlock.
Coming out and saying that they were not associated with Charlie Sheen.
Oh.
And I just
Other than this documentary.
I just thought it was so strange. I was like, I know you. What are you doing here?
Yeah, that is so
was
funny.
So bizarre.
It's weird.
But yeah, that was a segue back into the Winchester house. So we start the tour. We see, it was really, the things that surprised me the most about the tour were she had arthritis in her feet. So she had what they called easy riser stairs, which were basically like 1.5 to 2 inches high.
She was also very short, right?
Yeah, she was like 4'8". She must have been pretty petite. The stairs themselves were about this high. And so when you had to walk up them, it was just a very awkward way to walk up steps.
Yeah, because you're like...
Yeah, you were taking like little tiny steps. And if you watch the episode of Ghost Adventures, you'll see a lot of the stairwells in the hallways like zigzag,
sort of switchback stairs.
Yeah, they were so tight. And like, I know I'm getting bigger because I'm growing a child, and even if I wasn't, whatever, but I was like shocked at how tight these stairs were. Like, I felt like I was struggling to fit through them, and I was like, I can't imagine if I was bigger than this trying to navigate this. Like, I don't know.
Were they completely closed in?
What do you mean?
Like the stairwell, or were they like open? Like were there banisters, or were they walls?
No, they were short walls.
Oh, okay.
So it was like so it was tight. Like, I don't know how else to explain that, but like you could
like a pony wall?
Yeah, like a pony wall, like around the stairs.
Like a wall for ponies?
Sure.
Maybe.
And maybe it's the height of a
ponies
pony.
can jump over it versus like a horse jumping over a fence.
Maybe.
If you know the history of pony walls, let us know. She had been living in that after there had been a really big earthquake, she got freaked out and thought that the spirits of the people who had been killed by the Winchester guns or whatever were upset, and that's why the earthquake happened. And so she basically just sectioned off that entire part of her house. She had moved all the furniture out so that she could set herself up in a different part of the house, but she basically quarantined that whole area of the house and refused to live in that part anymore. And so when you go there, there's sheetrock falling off the walls.
Oh.
Like, the way it looked from the earthquake is still the way it looks. Like, the damage is still there.
It was like 1929 or 1930 was the earthquake, if memory serves me correctly.
Well, and I think I saw an aerial view. Isn't it like a house like with a parking lot right beside it?
Well, now, yeah. There's a parking lot there now because it's a haunted attraction.
Yeah.
Huge tourist destination.
It's actually funny because there's an apartment building right next to it that like looks down into it.
Weird.
And I was like, can you imagine living in that apartment building and like you're just looking into the Winchester every day? So we saw lots of interesting things, lots of doors that went nowhere, lots of stairs that went nowhere, as everybody would expect. But
Talk about the witch's cap.
so if you listen to our Ghost Adventures episode about the Winchester, one of the seances they do takes place in the witch's cap, and they believe that that may have been where Sarah Winchester actually did seances at one point. So I had asked our lovely tour guide Jim, shout out to Jim, he was amazing.
Way to go, Jim.
I asked him about the witch's cap. I told him that we had a podcast, and he was explaining to me. So he told me that they don't do tours in the witch's cap regularly, but that when they do like specific ghost tours, so maybe around like certain times of year or whatever, they will take people into the witch's cap. And he said one of the coolest things about the witch's cap is if you stand in the middle, because it is the highest point of the house. There's actually two of them. They're the highest points of the house, and they're a complete circle is how they're built. So you go to the very top, and it's a circular room at the very top, and it comes to a point like a witch's hat. So you stand in the middle and other people stand around you, and the sound, because you're in the center of a circle, sounds really creepy and is bouncing off of every direction. And he said it sounds like really crazy. So I thought that was really interesting.
I wasn't sure if it was like those like speakeasy rooms, those like whisper spots. You know what
Where
I'm
like
talking
you'd
about?
hear it loudly, like a whisper.
Yeah, I don't know why I associate them with speakeasies, but there are these. Oh, the whisper. So I associate them with speakeasies, but there would be two places to stand in a speakeasy. They were kind of like to spy on people. So if somebody stood in it, if I stood here, whispered like this, Lauren could hear it as if I was talking like this.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Unfortunately, I did not get to go in the witch's cap, so I didn't get to experience it. But if you ever go, ask them if you can go to the witch's cap. Let us know, because I'm really curious. It sounded really cool, and I was like, "Ugh, I wish we could experiment with that, but we didn't have enough time. But I'll get to my actual ghost story. So we were walking around all the house, and we see all these really cool little secret spots and her millions of rooms and millions of windows. She had a window that was like $30,000 to $40,000 an hour a day. Just one window. It was gorgeous, but like,
Stained glass window.
yeah, cannot imagine spending that much money on a window.
Beautiful.
Wait, how much was it?
$30,000 to $40,000 in our money, like in today's money. But we get to the highest point that they would take us to, which was pretty high up. I think the witch's caps were probably above where we were, but we were like a few stories up in the house. And the tour guide was showing us he was opening the windows so we could see the views, and he's telling us about the different parts of the house that we could see from there, and he walks away. And so at that point I was like, oh, let me take a picture through the open window that he just opened. So I go over with my camera, and I literally, like, I walk over and I hold my camera up in front of my face. As soon as I pulled my camera up, the window in front of me very intentionally closed to the point that it almost looked mechanical. And I looked over, because he had pointed out different things in the house that were like surprising, like her intercom system that was like,
Oh, the tour guide. You looked at the tour guide?
yeah, I looked at the tour guide because I was like, I thought, oh, maybe she had some sort of mechanical thing that shuts the windows, and he was like playing with me and like he hit a button. And I was like, there was no breeze. I hadn't felt a breeze or anything. The way it shut was very mechanical. And my husband was standing right there. And I looked at him and I was like, it was startling. Like it startled me. And I looked at him like, did you see that? And he was like, yeah, that was weird. And so I was like, okay, he noticed it. And so I brushed it off initially, and I was like, okay, like it could have just been the wind, and like I'm trying to like write it off. But I will say it felt in that moment, the sense that I had just immediately had gotten was I didn't feel fearful like I could fall out the window or anything. But as the window closed, it felt like somebody was like,
Be careful.
you're pregnant, don't stand near this open window.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was just very strange.
Yeah.
So the following day, my husband is like not into this stuff. He is not a believer in these things.
Yes.
And the following day, he's like, so can we talk about that window closing? And I was like, okay. I was like, it was weird, right? And he was like, no, it was really weird. He's like, it did not look like wind shut that window. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. And I was like, because I was really
Yeah.
questioning. I
Yeah.
was like, okay, maybe it was nothing.
Brush it off kind of
Yeah.
thing.
But I know other people saw it. Like I had looked at a few people and they were
Oh,
all
there
like,
were more people. Like, how many people were in the room with you?
In the tour group.
there was like 15 people
Oh, okay.
in our tour group. So there were other people around me.
Yeah.
So he wasn't the only one who saw it. Other people saw it too. Oh, and my friend Alicia was there with
Yeah.
me, and she had seen it as well. And she was like, "That was weird," but she's a believer in these things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was more validating to me that my husband, who doesn't believe in these things, was like, "What the heck was that?"
Also, him bringing it up without being like
Yeah.
initiated
Yeah.
by you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I was like, okay. So I don't know. The whole thing is that Sarah Winchester's son died at like 15 months old. And
Yeah. I
so,
forgot about that.
yeah. So
And her husband as well.
and her
Died
husband.
soon after or before that, I forget.
So I felt like, and just everything the tour guide was telling us about Sarah Winchester was like, she was a really caring person. And so I was like, I don't know, maybe that was her just saying like, hey, be careful. Don't stand
Yeah.
near the open window. So
Aw.
Thank you from
Yeah.
Sarah to Sarah.
oh yes, for those who don't know, my real name is not Charlie, it's Sarah.
Yeah.
So from Sarah to Sarah. Thank you.
A little love in that Sarah world.
But yeah, so I guess now it's time for reading the tea with Lauren.
All right. All right. So I have some tea, and this is kind of like a ongoing tea read. There's just a lot of stuff that's been popping up with the Conjuring House and the Warrens, but specifically the Conjuring House. We spoke about this in the Conjuring episode, but Jacqueline Nunez is a current owner. She bought the house for $1.5 million, which is surprising.
In what year?
In 2022. That
That was probably like right when the interest rates were starting to
yeah.
jump up.
So anyways, so she bought it, it looks like, for the purpose of running it as a paranormal attraction. So hosting tours, overnight investigations, events for ghost hunters and spiritualists. So we just found out that the house just went up for auction, and it's going up for auction on Halloween, which is very apropos.
Yeah, I have a theory about the house going up for auction
On Halloween?
on Halloween.
The price is not that crazy because it's in Connecticut.
Oh, and everything's expensive there?
It's in Burrville.
Yeah,
Harris,
a
They're both. One's
combination.
the county, one's the city.
I think it's just a combination of it being in Connecticut and also the lore behind it.
Yeah.
Probably adds some value.
They can add like a top dollar amount for that.
You were surprised like that was too much or too little?
Too much.
Oh.
For the actual house itself, if you look at the house.
Because it's very old.
It's
yeah.
old, but
It's like a farmhouse.
it's a farmhouse. It's not like impressive or anything.
No.
Well, it is the Arnold land.
Yeah, the land might be big. The actual land itself. There might be a
Reminder
lot
for
of
those who
land.
didn't partake in our Conjuring Kindred Spirits episode, first I'll go watch Kindred Spirits.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet,
Conjuring House.
shame on you.
The actual land that the Conjuring House is on was owned by the Arnold family, as in Benedict Arnold, Washington spy, the like notorious spy turned cloak from the Revolutionary War, who was initially on the side of the Americans, and then he was spying for the Redcoats and was found out, and he defected over to the British Army.
So
That's that land.
Yeah.
Land for a very long
Oh,
time.
and it's probably also just marked as a historic
yeah,
site at this point. I wouldn't be surprised.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the entire like houses looks original. It doesn't look like they did
Yeah,
any
it didn't
updates,
even-
except for like I guess indoor plumbing.
They're talking about it, renovating it now. Like
Oh,
people
no,
are.
it has to be protected under like some historical society, I would think.
I don't know. It can be protected, but also like a basement.
Yeah.
Could use a little love. A
Well,
creepy door.
anyways, so there's a couple of speculations on why she's put it up for auction.
I think she also is possibly a little mentally unstable at the time.
Yes,
I don't know.
of the purchase, you're saying?
No, just when
Now.
she was getting in the like I think she got foreclosed on, and that's why it's up for auction. And part of it, like she couldn't pay, and something with the state, and it was something to do with she wasn't making her payments or something. I thought, and then because of that, she had a bad relationship with the state of Connecticut, and then
It is. So the auction is being handled as the mortgage foreclosure auction, meaning the lender is selling the property because a borrower defaulted on the mortgage. Yeah.
So it's reading the tea with Lauren.
Yeah.
my bad. Only because I follow the Amy
Yeah.
did a thing on it because people were like, "Are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna buy it?" And she was like, "I want to address this."
Yeah. Well, she addressed it and she said she has no desire to buy it, but I don't think she mentioned, I don't remember her mentioning it being foreclosed on.
She mentioned the mental state of the woman, and I also did history. I do this old haunt,
Yeah.
so I knew some of it from that.
Okay. All right. So the reason for the foreclosure is high maintenance costs, and maybe there was like potential issues with legal and zoning issues with the tourism, it being a business. So if you actually go back to our Conjuring episode, we kind of go into that a little bit about like her having trouble with the state and running that house as a business. So that could have all played into account of her foreclosing on the actual property itself. So the home is considered to be, I mean, obviously spiritually active, but there are some ethical questions though. Should a haunted property be sold like regular real estate? Will the sale of the house like disturb the spirits? You know, like is there kind of any kind of disturbance?
Or I have a question for Coogan. I have a lot of attorney friends. Hey, Coogan. And I wonder if those, not that he's not a real estate attorney, but I wonder if it's like a very well-known haunted location, if that is in
The contract?
the contract or the, you know, like how you have to disclose if somebody died on the property or if there was like a murder on the property, if there's anything like, if there's a certain amount of like mention, you know, back to our Bobby McGee episode where they do
Bobby
the
Mackey.
Bobby, me and my Bobby Mackey.
I was like, wait, who?
But the thing is,
Guys, I have cancer in my chemo brain.
the thing is though, who is going to buy that house with not knowing that information?
Well, the whole town doesn't believe it's haunted.
Yeah, but I'm saying somebody going into that auction is going to know the history of the house.
But I mean, I don't know if you have to disclose it if it's already like
Public domain.
Well, no,
knowledge.
I'm just curious
yeah.
in general from like an attorney perspective when it comes to legal.
Does it have to be worked into the contract?
Yeah, and ghosts
The mortgage.
get worried
some sort
about.
of clause, like you can't
Yeah.
try to sell that, like you can't try to like
because also, can they go back on it?
right,
they
like if all of a
pull
sudden
out.
they start getting spiritual activity, it's like no, you knew what you were getting into.
Yeah, because for the, not Bobby McGee, but the Bobby Mackey's episode, our very first episode, they have a sign above the old bar, which is gone now, it's demolished. And it says, like, we're not legally responsible for blah, 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 blah. And we're like, can you even do
Paranormal
that? Like,
activity
can
kind of
you-
thing.
Can you sue for falling down the stairs due to ghost? One of these days, we're going to get an attorney friend, lawyer
I
on the
mean,
show.
we don't need to even let us know if you are an attorney.
Please.
I know,
Right into
on-
the show.
to
Yeah.
us. Let us know. what you
Paranormal
think.
Playback Pod
Yeah.
at Gmail.
You can leave us a voicemail, too, if it's a longer explanation, or send us a message.
Or go to our website.
Or maybe we'll even dial you in if you want to join a shadow chat with us. Shadow chat.
Because that was so
That's
vital.
important. My songs matter.
Yes. So we do have a theory though, because the Conjuring house going up for auction, like a lot of things have been happening in the paranormal world. The Warrens estate just was sold to Matt Rife. Matt Rife was on Ghost Adventures.
He's
The
also-
Annabelle doll went on tour. The Annabelle doll is a part of the Warrens estate. He's turning the house into an Airbnb. The Conjuring just came out. The Annabelle doll was removed from the Warrens house. We don't know what's happening with that. So we're thinking maybe a separate museum besides the Airbnb. There's a couple of speculations. Anyways, so coming off of that,
Wait.
all of these things happening.
What? Sorry, I just want to interject because I just saw this. Because you mentioned it because of the movie. So The Conjuring, The Last Rites was supposed to be the last one of the Conjuring franchise. And it just hit like the #1 highest grossing horror film of all time. Like I believe it used to be held by The Exorcist or
It would make sense if it was The Exorcist.
but it
I'm
just
trying to
it
think.
was like 195 million in its box office weekend, and I think the previous one was like 150 million, and I think the movie cost 55 million to
Yeah.
make. So
Here's a couple things. So, like, they probably can ask for top dollar just coming off of all of this stuff. Also, we're thinking, is Zach Bagans going to try to buy that house?
that's my theory.
that
Was what I was going to
yeah.
interject.
I mean, he said with the Matt Rife thing, people had asked if he knew that that was up for auction or up for sale.
And it seemed like he
So
was
salty.
almost bitter.
he said
like, that he didn't get
He
offered.
wasn't offered.
But with this one, he posted a very, not cryptic, it's like very obvious. I took a screenshot of it because I meant to post it. But when the day after they announced that the Conjuring house was going up for auction, he posted a screenshot of a news article and it had the emoji of the thinking face. And then the other day we saw on the subreddit that apparently there might be 2 more episodes for October of the current season. So my thought was Zach Bagans is going to bid on Conjuring house. And then
Investigate the Conjuring
Which
house
is-
again.
and then that's gonna happen in because it's Halloween when it's going up for auction. I think it's like October 1st is the first episode, and then there's another one mid-October. I think he'll bid on it. Whether or not he gets it, we'll see. So it's happening October 31st. I think he's gonna try to bid on or talk about, you know, the auction coming up. They're gonna have their 2 new episodes that they promo. He's gonna get this. He's gonna do it. It's gonna be
Absolutely.
his house, and then he's gonna do something with it. Maybe he'll do another museum there.
But here's the thing. Is there going to be a Matt Rife, Zach Bagans rival?
I want there to be so bad.
Definitely think that we're just gearing up for that. And I wouldn't even be surprised if Zach and Matt have already had a discussion about, like, it would be good for business.
Oh yeah, they're probably egging
In
each other on with
cahoots.
this. I can totally see like a meme that we need to make of like a boxing lineup thing, but it's like right.
It'll be our version of a fight night.
But yeah, and then I think he'll like acquire the house, do something with it, either make it another museum or make it an Airbnb or something. I think he'll do a new layer of his next thing that's less show, more interactive
Like what
experience.
what is his legacy going to evolve into?
Yeah, I don't know.
I just am so curious how any of that will work with Zach refusing to travel to the East Coast. Like,
He won't take a plane there.
yeah, maybe he'll be willing to
Train.
do a road trip. They'll do a whole season that is road
Oh, a
tripping
road
to
trip.
the East Coast.
Yeah.
And stopping at haunted locations along the way or something.
Yeah.
But apparently HBO has now greenlit also a Conjuring series.
Yes. And
So,
it
make that
looks
money.
like the two actors that are in the original looks like they may
Patrick?
be in the that play Edmund.
That's cool. I actually learned the girl in The Nun who plays Sister Irene. I just rewatched literally all of the Conjuring movies in order, so I'm very familiar with it. But the girl who played kind of the main character in The Nun is the woman who plays Lorraine Warren's sister. She was
She's
in
the
American Horror
Gilded-
Story.
Yeah.
And she's in
The Coven.
she's
season.
in the original one. She's the daughter.
Oh yeah, she's in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her actual sister.
Yeah. Apparently there's a theory that because the whole thing is like Sister Irene is from the family of Saint Cecilia, whose eyes are like a relic in the franchise, and she has visions of Sister Irene, so they think that there's a connection with Lorraine's lineage and the nun in particular, because he's seeking the eyes of Saint Cecilia and they all have visions, all the women in that family, so they think Lorraine and Sister Irene are
Connected.
ancestors, and they're actually sisters in real life, so that's cool. You see, like, Lorraine is all worried because her daughter starts seeing the nun, which would mean, like, she has the eyes. She's the next eyes of Saint Cecilia.
Nice.
Anywho, I did finally find the girl that we follow that worked at the Conjuring house when it was a museum. She doesn't anymore. She's, like, pregnant now. She had, like, a really cool Victorian baby shower, dark Victorian baby shower. So she's been giving some, like, insights in the Conjuring house.
Yeah.
But
If you want more tea on the Conjuring House and the Warrens, check out Conjuring episode. We have a lot of tea in
and
there.
there might be more to come on that. Like, we've been thinking of doing a more like Ed and Lorraine specific, maybe a This Old Tea crossover.
I will say there is again, names are not good with me right now. I will pull up the name of this documentary, but there is a documentary probably from like 2016 maybe about the Amityville Horror House and Ed and Lorraine's investigation of it. So it's from the perspective of Danny, the little boy who actually grew up in that house. He's like interviewed in it. So maybe we could watch that
Yeah.
and discuss it.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think also we need to watch The Conjuring and do a recap of it.
The new one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear it's scary.
hope
It's doing
so.
really well.
All right, so that is the tea with
That
Lauren.
was the tea with Lauren. All right, and that brings us into our final little segment. Okay, so for our next segment, before we wrap up and give our final Rosé reviews, we're going to do a little thing we call Lore by Lore. Lore by Lore.
In that case, do the third one because we don't need to know the details. I know the details are good because we're going to pull it up.
All right.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, we're debating how to
Which
stump
one?
you.
So
Yeah.
here's the thing. They like to, this is all blind to me. They're going to tell me what to tell, and then I'll tell by my memory.
Yeah, we take like famous or like relatively
Faces.
well-known
Stories or,
stories, and we ask Lauren to retell them.
yes.
yeah. We all know
So
that.
far, we've done, what was the first one we did? Lizzie
Lizzie
Borden.
Borden.
And then we did
Sleepy
Sleepy,
Hollow.
Hollow.
Yeah.
And Lauren did very well with Sleepy Hollow.
She did.
That was pretty impressive.
I did good with Lizzie
You did.
Borden. You guys are in unison.
Oh my gosh, we're like, you got there. You got there.
Yeah, she
You
did.
got the year and the location.
Oh, I got the detail, the appearance.
You eventually got there,
I
but
got
we
there.
helped you out a little bit with. Oh, I'm
Oh.
thinking of Sleepy Hollow with the location and the.
Sleepy Hollow, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, this time we're going to have Lauren tell us the tale of Bloody Mary. See, that was my reaction.
I don't know, that's Tale of Bloody Mary.
Well, you're supposed. This is sorry.
I'm gonna tell my tale.
There we go.
But
Of Bloody
see
Mary.
what you know.
There is a movie about Bloody Mary.
I recently had heard the lore behind it and it connected it to me. And I was like, I had no idea that that's where Bloody Mary came from. And it was fascinating. So,
Well, technically, if we're gonna get it like real. Bloody Mary stems from Mary Tudor, Queen Mary Tudor, the
Okay,
daughter
well now
of...
you're telling her. This is exactly what I'm talking about, though.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's just like, okay.
That's not the
That's the-
lore part.
That's not like the stand in front of a mirror thing, though.
Yeah.
That's just literally history.
No, but they're connected.
I'm gonna shut up.
I'm
Sorry.
pretty sure that they're actually connected.
All right. So, the tale of Bloody Mary. Or you wanted me to do another one?
Hold on.
No. Let me pull it up real quick.
Because I remember I learned about it and then I was like, oh, is that why we do Bloody Mary? And then it was like, oh shit.
It's not
Connected to
It's
that?
not connected to Mary Tudor. The term Bloody Mary, back into my little quick, comes from Mary Tudor, daughter of King Henry VIII, who had all the wives.
Beheaded.
He only had 2 beheaded. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. I know a lot about
Somebody survived a beheading.
Divorced? That's like the phrase you do to remember the 6 wives.
Oh.
First one was divorced, the second one was beheaded, the third one died. The fourth one was divorced, the fifth one was beheaded, and the last one survived. Well, they only think she actually survived because Henry died before he could get mad at her. But anyway, King Henry only had 2 children, and the first one was Mary Tudor with his first wife.
Catherine?
With his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. With his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, who was the daughter of Queen Isabella from Spain, who was the one who sent Christopher Columbus off to America. She gave him permission to set sail from Spain. And she was like a really cool lady. And they had a daughter named Mary Tudor, and she was first in line to the throne. The other daughter that King Henry had was Queen Elizabeth I, the Virgin Queen. He birthed some pretty dope ladies. But Mary Tudor was Catholic because Henry brought what they called Church of England. Protestantism basically kind of happened because of Henry VIII, because he wanted to get divorced, which wasn't allowed in the Catholic Church unless the Pope approved it or called it an annulment. And the Pope wouldn't approve it because they all knew he just wanted to sleep with Anne Boleyn. So he created Church of England and Protestantism. So Elizabeth was Protestant and Mary Tudor was Catholic. So Queen Elizabeth had and Henry Tudor had brought the whole of England to be Protestant. And then Mary was hellbent on returning England to the glory and the religion of her mother, Catherine of Aragon, Catholicism. So she spent her entire reign hanging, primarily burning heretics, anybody who was considered Protestant, and the churches. And they called her reign was so insane and deadly that she was known as Bloody Mary Tudor.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I think there was also some legend that like she tried to bathe in blood or something. I might be mixing that up with another monarch. Anyway, that is where like the name Bloody Mary comes from. That probably inspired the story. But anyway, back to Lore with Lore. Thank you for this moment of this old history lesson.
We love it. Thanks, Mel.
King Henry
All right, so the story of Bloody Mary started off when around 1794. This was back in
1794.
Did I get it right?
No, I was just repeating
No.
because you said that.
You were trying to pick
Location.
Okay, I was like, well, 94.
This is back in New Hampshire.
I'm not going to give you an...
So 1794 in New Hampshire. She was, is that pilgrims? Were they pilgrims then?
Pilgrims? No, I think you're thinking of Puritan.
Puritans.
Puritan.
Yeah.
Puritans. She was a Puritan. And she was thought of as a witch. And so people came after her in the village, in her Puritan village. And Mary. And they killed her, stoned her to death. And she was very bloody.
From being stoned to death?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but before she died, she said she was going to come back, haunt everybody in the village for killing her for something that wasn't true. Rightfully so. As legends have it, you can stand in front of the mirror and call her name.
Childhood sleepover.
Call her
Wow.
name
Yeah.
Bloody Mary 3 times and she will appear behind you.
Is she bloodied?
She is bloody. Yeah.
Kind of a letdown if she wasn't.
But that's how her legacy lives on.
Oh.
She can come and haunt you whenever she wants when you call her name. It's like Beetlejuice.
Very much like Beetlejuice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I don't know about the year, but I feel like you're probably pretty, puritanical. Like that's where a lot of our like weird religious story and shit comes from. All right, so is Bloody Mary real? Some people think so. Based on a story of which Mary Worth, it's fair to say that the Bloody Mary history is long and, well, extremely bloodied. Many people already believe that Mary was a witch simply because she lived in the forest for selling tinctures and herbal remedies. The locals were very wary of her and didn't want to get too close, fearful she'd curse them or their animals, and those who chose to use her remedies were sometimes even shunned by the very religious for partaking in. Soon, small girls started to go missing. The people in the village looked everywhere that they could for them, but they just could not think of where she would be. A few brave folk even ventured towards Mary's cabin to search for the girls there, and although the witch denied all knowledge of the girls' disappearances, the families were suspicious. Her usual elderly and haggard appearance had drastically changed, and she was starting to appear more feminine and youthful. The villagers were suspicious, but there was little they could do. It then continues with the story of the miller's daughter. One night, the poor girl, Miller's daughter, was captivated by a mysterious noise that only she could hear. Whilst her mom was sitting up in bed treating a very bad toothache using an herbal tincture she'd bought for Mary, the miller's wife was very frightened and shouted for her husband to come and help her follow her daughter. They were shouting at her daughter for her to come back, but to no avail. It was almost as though she was following an unspoken and unseeing force. Getting the help of a few townsfolk, the town farmer noticed that there was a light at the edge of the woods. When they got closer, they noticed that Mary Worth was standing in a clearing next to a huge oak tree. Why is it always an oak tree? It's always an oak tree. She was holding a wand, pointing it towards the miller's home, and it was almost glowing with an unnatural light, and the miller's daughter was headed straight towards that light. So when people ask, what is Bloody Mary? It's a little hard to answer, but particularly because witches don't normally have wands or they glow with a natural light, but it's fair to say that most people imagine her as a witch or some other type of supernatural being. So once the farmer and the miller's father noticed just what Mary Worth was doing, they set upon her with pitchforks and guns. You don't think those two would go together. You think like, grab your toy pitchfork.
Yeah.
Not pitchforks and like maybe just the guns.
Your muskets.
Yeah. And when she realized that everyone from the village knew what she was, she broke the spell and made for the forest. So Mary died because she wasn't quite quick enough for the farmer to get away from. He quickly loaded his gun with silver bullets in the event that Mary ever decided to turn her attention towards his daughter. He fired a shot and caught her in the hip. She was caught kicking, thrashing, and screaming and tied to a stake, and a bonfire was promptly built so that the supposed witch could be gone for good. As she was burning, she set a curse upon the villagers and told them that if they ever dared to utter her name in a mirror, she would be back for them. Her spirit would return to wherever they summoned her from to exact her revenge. Unfortunately for the villagers, with missing children, when they got back home to the village and returned to Mary's house and did a proper search, they found what they were looking for: rows and rows of unmarked graves. It seemed that she'd been using the blood of their children to make herself more youthful. So as far as the Bloody Mary legend, the most common version of the legend states that if you chant her name 3 times into a mirror, you'll summon the Bloody Mary ghost. And unfortunately for you, she'll take your soul for her own, ripping yours to shreds in the process. She'll leave your soul to burn, just like she was left to burn by the villagers. And to top it all off, you'll be subjected to an eternity trapped in the mirror. Now, are you still asking if she's real? I don't know about you, but I don't want to be the one to test out this particular legend.
No.
Do you want to credit where you got that summary from?
Yes, thank you. This was from hauntedrooms.co.uk.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is there a name?
Haunted Rooms. Thank you.
I thought it was pretty close.
You were
Very close.
There was no stoning to death, but
Yeah.
that was shockingly close. I'm impressed, Lauren.
Very good.
Good.
That's the history. Bravo. All right. Okay. So as a reminder, as for our review of La Vieille Femme of France.
French people and
I'm
of
sorry.
Montreal.
I know. Yeah. Well,
It's the chicken wine.
of our chicken wine,
It's actually got a
French
hen.
wine imported by Birmingham, Alabama.
It has a hen
Well
and
done.
a rooster on the front.
I was trying to see if it's from or if it's just. Anyway, I actually really
It's
like this.
on the
Yeah.
I think I like it better than Whispering Angel.
It's drier, right? From what I remember. It's drier
Yeah.
from what I remember.
I like the flavors, the notes.
Describe it.
I like its delicate bouquet with notes of red fruit, flowers, and citrus fruit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's a really nice balance between sweetness and acidity in the mouth.
That
And,
is
that's
such a great summary.
right. It just came to me, and I love how the finish shows, a lot of fresh fruit.
It's fresh finish.
Not only is it French, it's Finnish. And it's got good length.
Yeah.
The legs.
The legs, the body.
There are legs. I'm kidding. There are not legs. I don't know that this glass does.
I don't think that.
No, there's legs.
You have legs?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
you gotta swirl to get the leg.
For our listeners,
This is not a
Melanie
swirly-
did swirl
Right.
her rosé onto herself.
Cheers.
Chin chin, everyone.
Oh, I have a cheers. Oh yeah, what would you rate it on a? What's your rating? What do you
I'd
think?
say, like number?
Yeah, like on a scale of 1 to
I'd say like a 7.5.
best rosé ever. Okay.
8?
Yeah.
7.5?
I would give it like an 8.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like this one.
To the spirits that wander the Blue Ridge and the chicken who guards this bottle, may your glass stay full and your haunted farmhouse never run dry.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yay.
Until
Next time.
Next time.
No.
Oh yeah, we did a fancy one.
Oh, we're drinking the wine.
We are spilling the wine.
and
Melt.
Is spilling more.
until our next pour, stay safe in the shadows.
Oh, I love that.
Bye.
Poppy loves to
Yeah,
hear us.
Lauren hates it when we do that.
She calls
Hey,
us
Poppy.
annoying.
Hi, Poppy.
Hi, Poppy. Bye.
Hi, Poppy. Bye.
Rosé and readings under the moonlight, tarot and laughter in the witching night. Spooky but sassy, the vibe's just right. Char, Mel, and Lauren make the dark so bright.